What up? What up? What up, Zarja Fancy Football Talk? We back another week, almost Thanksgiving. You know, it's a good thing and a bad thing, y'all. We had some trouble behind the scenes, but it's okay. You know, we are praying bunch around here, so we gonna make sure this work over here. I tell you. But yeah, what's going on, man? You know what it is. I'm riding this Jay. What's up, man? Yes. You ain't lying. Well, it is Thanksgiving next week, so it's a good and a bad thing. We are not going to be here, but we also going to enjoy some football and some good food, man. And like you said, we can't.
Let's see. If we can get right to the call back in.
And they can still hear us live.
Okay.
And we're back. We had some technical difficulties, so
Yeah.
we're sorry. We apologize. You know things. You know how this computer stuff works, man. We're not gonna blame it on Jay tonight, though. But but we're gonna blame it on Jay tonight. But no, we all a family around here. Some things happen, but it's cool though. But
Yeah.
we're back. Again, Thanksgiving is next week, and it's a good thing and a bad thing. The bad thing is we're not gonna see y'all.
Right.
But the good thing is we get to eat and we get to enjoy our families and we get to watch a little football and we get to and if you knew how my setup was, you would know that I'm near the kitchen. My wife probably would kill me if I had anything to do with football or fantasy football on YouTube. She probably would hurt me. So I stay out of the way. Yeah. But other than that, we're gonna have a good show and then we're gonna bounce to this next 2 weeks. We can see y'all in 2 weeks. But let's get going, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine now. I think it's been
Okay.
a challenging. Even I was saying, no one was hearing me talk online, but this is
Mm-hmm.
one of those weeks where you feel okay. I've got everything together. We're ready. Let's get this show popping, and then everything started going crazy. But that is life. Like I said, we'll move on. We will, like Rodney said earlier, we won't be with y'all next week. So the next time we'll be with y'all in December. So if you have any lineup questions, be sure to hit us up on social media, in the YouTube chat, or somewhere. We'll be trying to stay in touch with you as much as possible.
Yes.
My
Yes.
fantasy week, you might be able to tell from my background, it was not great. I lost, like for instance, I lost in every single Yahoo league.
Jeez.
I had some in one of them. I should have won. We'll get to that when we do our. We'll give out the game balls. I have some
Yeah.
anti-game balls I'm going to hand out
Wow.
to people that
Oh, he did not
I'm
say anti-game balls.
I'm pulling
Ooh.
out hate during
What? We
our
don't do
game
we
ball
don't do
section.
hate around here.
I'm
Come on.
hating on Thanksgiving because I
Oh my
have people who single-handedly destroyed my fantasy
god.
football week. But
Oh.
other than that, I'm 10-1 in one of my leagues, and so that is my pride and joy of this. So I have something to be thankful for. It's that
Yes, you do.
SMFL team, because all my other teams are very sketchy. But it's been a good week, so it is what it is. How
It
about
makes you
you?
think about it.
How did you make out in fantasy football this week?
I
You
went
talking
three
about
and
me?
three this week. I lost. It's some games I knew I was gonna lose, and some games that I was close, but I was like, you know what, it is what it is. But if the week, if the playoffs was to start today, I would be in
Okay,
four, four playoffs. And
four
speaking
out
of
of
that
six,
league,
right?
4 out of 6.
Okay,
But I'm trying to make a late push in them last two to see can I make it. But speaking of that league you in when you 10-1, I just want to let everybody know I'm right there behind you. So don't get too comfortable now,
hey, behind
And
is the key word there.
that's
So
fine. You can say what you want to say.
top
I'm just
dog
saying.
over here. So
But
and that's actually the first league I've found. It is the one that's been going on for 20 years now. So if I'm going to be successful in a league, that is the one I would prefer. Well, actually, I prefer that big money league for real, for
but yeah,
real.
I
But
get it. I get it.
I'm in playoff contention in there, but there's some reasons why that I don't think it's going to work out. Too,
Man, it's crazy over there.
I'm
But I
struggling
will
over
say
there. Yeah.
that one league you've been there since the beginning, obviously.
Uh,
I've been there probably over 10. I can't remember. It's probably over 10
Yeah,
years.
I think it's been more than 10, but it's been good. You haven't been there since the beginning of that league, but you've been there for the majority of it. I'd say that
Yeah.
much.
So,
Yeah,
and if anybody like know, we always been 1-2 most of the years. I think we went on some
yeah.
type of year. We went on like a
There's been some
year.
rocky times, a few
Yeah,
rocky
it's
times.
just rocky time. So well, we just didn't finish 1-2 or 3 or 4. We just
Yeah,
didn't make
yeah,
playoffs. So it was, but for some years, I know when people used to get mad at us because we used to always finish
yeah,
1-2 every year, and they used to be like, "Y'all cheating." I was like, "No, we're not," but whatever y'all want to call it, but
yeah.
it's cool. But I think it's back to that now.
Yeah,
I
this
think
year,
it's
this
back to
in the 20-year anniversary, I think all the top teams are doing top performances because we all trying to show out. So that's the one league. I have some other ones I'm playoff bound, I think, in, but I have a lot of teams that are like 5-6, 6-5, right on that
4-10.
borderline. Like I could go either
Man.
way. But my
Oh,
hockey
yeah.
teams, my fantasy hockey teams are both doing well, except I've ignored them this week. And so I might not do, I have some groundwork to cover. But I see in the chat, my mom said she won one and lost one, so she had 50%. That's about where I was out of my 10 leads, about 40 to 50%. I forget exactly. Hola, Anita, I see you out there. Let's go to our producer and get an update on how she's doing.
Are we promoting cookies today?
Well, fantasy football does suck. You might want to move it over a little bit, but the other way. There you go. We got us all in there now. But what cookies are we
They
eating
should
this
know
week?
by now when you see the black sign what it says. If you're new to the show, it says fantasy football sucks. Eat a cookie.
Well, tell us why fantasy football sucks this week, and let us know what the cookie of the week is.
So fantasy football sucks because I only won in one, and that's the one league I will actually make the playoffs.
One out of 4.
Actually, no, I'll be in the playoffs in 2 out of 4.
Okay. No, I meant you said you won 1 out of 4.
Oh, yeah. No, I only won 1 out of the 4.
You can show up your face.
No, I'm gonna keep the sign up. And
right.
So yeah, I wasn't even expecting to win there, so that was a shocker. Way to go, defensive players! You guys are awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I will be in the playoffs in 2 out of the 4 leagues I'm in. In the other 2, yeah, I'm just whatever.
I forgot what are
really
you
care.
like 1 or 2, 1 or first or second place in the defensive league? I know you're up there pretty high. Second place. Yeah, so I actually got a rare win in the defensive league this week, so I'm happy about that because that is not one of my better teams, which is crazy.
So are y'all fighting for like? And don't take this out of no disrespect, but like, are y'all fighting for the #1 spot in Dynasty or something?
Yeah, probably.
In
yeah.
Dynasty, it's not even a fight. I'm gonna have the #1 overall pick in Dynasty.
Lord.
That team has not a prayer. So,
are you trading that #1 pick, or you gonna draft the best available running? Like I don't know what you need, but
everything.
Yeah.
I need top to bottom players in that league.
So you're gonna trade it for some picks.
My biggest need is, of course, at running back, and so if there's someone interested in running backs, yeah, that trade will be up. But I say this: in Dynasty, I've mentioned on the show, I started off very poorly with that league. Made some really bad choices. Believed in some guys I shouldn't have believed in. So we're retooling. We're revamping that whole roster. I got a lot of young guys, very let's say motivated young players, showing a lot of potential that maybe in a couple of years I could turn things around. But I just need to make a splash in this year's draft or trade that draft pick for the splash. But Dynasty is Dynasty. But
yeah, I'm about to say I ain't going for nothing, and I'm
trade
not trying to get
whoever gets. If you get the one, trade it for some picks in the back.
I'm not trading for. It's gonna be crappy for like the next 2 years. I'm not trading for nothing. I'm not aiming for nothing out of this draft. I ain't.
I mean, the quarterbacks can be trashed out of this draft, obviously. I don't know about the running backs or the receivers. I think receivers probably will be good. I know the kid from Alabama.
They've got good receivers to come out every year. So that one, if you need but receiver is actually one of the semi-bright spots on my team, kind of. I guess my best, if you were going to say my best position is probably quarterback in that league. But, you can only play 2. This is a super flex league, so I need skills players.
Well, probably, I'm in the market.
Yeah. So, hey, if y'all are out there, if you're in the Imperial Dynasty League, holla, y'all know my number.
So. I didn't. Before y'all really get into this, I didn't mention the cookie because we kind of went on a tangent.
Yeah.
Y'all did what y'all was supposed to talk about, but in case anybody's curious, like, okay,
I did ask you.
So you did, but y'all sidetracked on that whole, are y'all fighting for the #1 in Dynasty crap? No. So, in honor of Thanksgiving, we have a sweet potato cookie with I guess you could say candy pecan crumbles or
Okay.
something I made. I don't even really know. I just make up stuff as I do stuff.
It has no name yet. The
Mm-mm.
Thanksgiving cookie.
Okay, you can call it that. But basically, it's made from, sweet potatoes, some candy pecans,
Okay.
and there you go. So,
So
yeah.
I was actually snacking on this before the show. I was like, it tastes like a sweet potato pie, but like in cookie form.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope to have more of these for Thanksgiving. Uh, but
Once again, I honestly just be going rogue when I do stuff. I really made it up as I made it.
so we appreciate it. I know earlier I said I benefit from fantasy football sucking, but
Do you?
but I still wish you success, especially in the leagues where you've already been dominating in. So
Yeah.
keep up the good work there. Hey, fantasy football doesn't have to suck for us to eat cookies. I'm down for it no matter what.
I mean, I like that. Let's get into some news, and I
All right.
think the biggest news of the day, and I want to start with this,
Okay.
and I want to talk about it not for a long time, but for a little bit. Number 12, throw that wrist up. Shador Sanders
Ah,
is going to be starting this week. But congratulations on that, by the way, Shador. You deserve it. But I got my questions though. This is my
I
question.
got a lot of questions, but go ahead.
This is my question. How was his performance?
Terrible, but continue.
But you got context with that.
Yeah,
You got
yeah.
to have some
No, that's
context.
context. That's definitely context.
Um, and being that he's starting this week against the Raiders, is he a viable play this week for somebody that needs a quarterback because of injury or whatever? Because we're gonna talk news. We're gonna talk some more news about quarterback injuries. But is he a valuable play this week? And my third question is, if he plays well, does he keep the job? But I'll let you go first, and then I'll respond within that.
All right. Well, to start off with the easy question, did he play well? He was 4 for 16 for 47
Mm-hmm.
yards and an interception. He had a
Okay.
quarterback rating of 12 and a half. So
Yes.
he was terrible. And that's
Okay.
putting it nicely. However, given the situation of how much time he had with starters, uh, you
Which
can
is nice.
expect it was not going to be great. He did try to take like responsibility for the loss. And Miles Garrett was like, "Nah, that's on all of us. It's not on you." So he does have some respect from the players. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we can go back in the tapes to the off season. I considered uh, Shador to be more of a. I said there's only one quarterback I really liked in last year's draft, and that was Cam Ward. He hasn't been great himself, but I just put that on the team around him. Shador, I
Mm-hmm.
thought was more of a project. It would be great if he had a good landing spot. Surprised so many teams passed on him, and I was disappointed when Cleveland was the one that took him because they took him after already drafting a quarterback. I don't think that was a great spot.
Mm-hmm.
But despite all that, he does have the starting position now. And I was talking to our producer. There's not a better team to have your first start against than the Raiders, because the Raiders are some trash. And I say that as a Raiders fan. There's literally nothing good to say about them as a team. I said I was going to pass out some hate. Just a lot of the initial hate goes to the Raiders and Raiders players, especially Geno Smith, and who was supposed to be great this past week, by the way.
Yeah.
And some
He
goes,
played all right, but he didn't play all right.
he played like garbage.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And Ashton Genty was even worse. And I blame 100% of that on Pete Carroll
Okay.
and Chip Kelly, who's the player. But on a defensive end, the Raiders can't stop anything. And so Shador is going to have, I think, a much better game for his first start than he did when he came in mid-game last week. Do I start him in my fantasy roster? Probably not. Unless, like you said, I was desperate or I had one of those quarterbacks that got injured and I need a fill-in, then
Yes.
yeah, I think Shador is a guy that you use. Hopefully only in like a super flex. two quarterback league. If you have to rely on him as your first priority quarterback, good luck to you on that. But like I said, it's at least the Raiders, so there's some hope. What do you think about him?
Well, I'm gonna answer the first question. He played bad, but I will say he played better down. I would say that last drive, he looked like he was starting to. I ain't gonna say he got comfortable, but I'm gonna say he started to get comfortable, if that makes sense. Some of the he had like two throws that were really really good when he got time. And then the line didn't help anyway. But the biggest problem is he didn't have any snaps with the first string at all.
Right.
Not since he got drafted. I think he said that was his first time actually getting tackled since Colorado, which is kind of crazy to me. And then on top of that, like him not getting any first team reps, being the backup quarterback is another thing because again, anything can happen to your player at any point. So you got to get some of these guys in there to play. So to me, it wasn't that bad. I think for him to be thrown in like that with no knowledge, because that was a Dylan Gabriel playbook, and they kind of just do something together. But as far as starting this week, if you're in a two quarterback league, I think you start him because you're playing the Raiders. Now, if you was playing somebody else, no disrespect, but if you was playing somebody else, then yes, I would say kind of hold off and give him a week to see what he does. And then as far as him keeping the job, I think he should keep the job regardless because Dylan Gabriel has shown that he's not capable of being a good quarterback. So for me, you keep Shador in there because you got to see what you got because you got 2 first-round picks next year. And the way it's looking, they're going to be early picks. So you can draft quarterback next year if you want to. So you want to see what you got, and you want to have Shador put film out there. If you can trade him or do something with him. Right. If he doesn't play well, even if he does play well, you want to keep him as your quarterback. You can kind of move around those 2 draft picks that you have. So that's my take on it. And I'm a Shador guy. And I think Shador is going to play well this week because the Raiders are so bad.
We are really bad. Let's say a welcome to Catherine Bracey and Lewis Bracey, aunts and uncle of the show. Good to have y'all. And we've been told to stop talking Cleveland because they're dead. We should talk more about these cookies and maybe pass them out to something. Hey, if you're in the Maryland area, which I know somebody is, you got a good chance of being blessed with one of these sweet potato cookies. So we'll try to look out for you. What do you think about the fact that, speaking of Cleveland being dead, he is the 42nd quarterback to start for that team since they went back to Cleveland in 1999. So that's averaging almost 2 quarterbacks a year.
That's called poor management.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they ran away a good quarterback in Baker Mayfield, who was bad. He was supposed to be bad at the time, but again, he was in that same offense with Kevin Stefanski. So a lot of this comes down to Kevin and him being a coach / offensive coordinator, whatever you want to call it. The last 6 years, he's been through so many quarterbacks, including Baker Mayfield, who is probably one of the better quarterbacks in the league right now. I think that's an organization problem, honestly.
I don't think there's a more indicting statement on Stefanski is the fact that Baker Mayfield looked dead in the water in Cleveland, and people were glad to get rid of him. And immediately he's in Tampa Bay, and he's a Pro Bowler. So was Baker the problem? And I said a lot of bad things about Baker Mayfield while he was in Cleveland.
Me too.
And the stats prove that he was trash, but you don't go from being trash to being that good on your own. So obviously a lot of the problems were in Cleveland themselves. Like you said, it's management, it's coaching, it's player selection. And that's the one thing I don't like about this start for Shador. As bad as the Raiders are, and the Raiders are really bad, he don't have a lot to work with over there in Cleveland to get excited about. Their top receiver this past week was Cedric Tillman, and if that's your number
Well,
one weapon, then
think about it from this point of view, right? When Baker was there, they had Odell Beckham. They had who was the other
Odell
receiver?
Beckham was there. The other guy from LSU,
He was
Landry,
a Landry, Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis Landry. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah,
Jarvis Landry because he was a PPR monster.
Yeah.
He used to get a lot of points in fantasy. But just think about it, they had Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, and Odell Beckham, and they had a pretty decent offensive line when he was there. And Kevin couldn't win with that.
Yeah.
So at some point, you got to stop looking at the players and you got to look at the coach. And if you got to go through, Flacco went inside the division to a whole nother team and played 100% better than he was playing in Cleveland this year.
Yeah.
So that tells you it's not the player, it's the coach. So even if Shador looks bad, right? Just say he go out there and look bad. Shador is probably going to find another team at some point. And Shador is probably going to look better on that next team because of the structure of the team, the players, the offensive coordinator, and the coaches. So at the end of the day, Kevin Stefanski is just not a good coach. Now, Dylan Gabriel could go somewhere else and look like a reasonable quarterback. He might not be a starting quarterback, which he's trying to force that issue. In my mind, you should not be trying to force that issue. It's nowhere in the world. And I'm not saying Dylan is not a good quarterback. I am saying that. He's not a good quarterback. Like
at this point, I can't even trust my own judgment on who's good or bad with Cleveland. Because like you said with Baker Mayfield, he was bad. I mean, he was objectively bad in Cleveland. And now he's a Pro Bowler. So
but also you got to think about it this way. Baker also, it's funny because Baker and Shador have not the same playing style, but the same off the field tendencies.
Mm-hmm.
They're big images. They also, Kevin Stefanski hated Baker Mayfield because he was such a big personality.
And there's rumors that he's not a big fan of Sanders either. I see in the chat.
Because he's a big personality too. So when you think about the big personalities that both of those guys had, Kevin couldn't deal with it. So Kevin was like, look, I need somebody that I can tell to go out there and I need to throw 5 yards and that's it. Don't make a play. Because I guarantee you.
Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah, and that again, but I guarantee you on Sunday, Shador is going to play outside of his play calling. Well, outside of what they want to do.
You think he's going to be improvising?
Yes, he's going to get upset because he did it late in that game where he scrambling around and telling people, hey, go downfield, because I'm going to make this play. And at the end of the day, that's how you got to allow your quarterback to be a quarterback on the field. It can't be a robot and tell them, because if you watch Dylan Gabriel is literally throwing 5-yard passes. They say Shador 25-yard pass was the longest pass in 6 games.
Yeah.
And he did that in a half. So Kevin Stefanski is the actual real problem. It ain't the players. Because Myles Garrett is having a career year. I mean,
he has wasted his life in Cleveland.
He is wasting so much time. And I ain't gonna say I don't feel bad for him because he get paid, but I wouldn't have signed that contract.
I can't feel bad when you sleeping on a bed of millions, right? Yeah. But he could be doing the same thing and winning
somewhere else.
But hey, maybe he just loves that Cleveland air. So
I'm not whatever. But I'm just saying, Kevin got to have 42 quarterbacks. That is a lot.
Yeah.
Think about all the franchises in the NFL. That's a lot.
In that time frame, how many quarterbacks has the Packers had?
3.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So,
I mean,
Cleveland sucks, but to summarize, you would still play him this week because of the matchup.
I will play him.
What do you put
the
over/under on yards? 200. You going over or under that?
I'm gonna go over.
Okay.
Because I just think, and I'm not comparing him to Dak, but I think y'all secondary is so bad, and y'all outside of Max
Crosby is the only bright spot on that defense.
That y'all got going.
Look, speaking of people wasting their lives,
Max Crosby, Lord have mercy.
But he loves it with the Raiders. So
it's Vegas though. He loves Vegas.
Look, Vegas compared to Cleveland. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Since we're on it, that's enough about Cleveland. Let's stay in Vegas for a second. What did you
Vegas.
think about the CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens
That was
rumors that they got benched and neither one of them started? And there are people that are reporting they saw them in the casino, CeeDee Lamb throwing up like at 7 something in the morning at the
I seen
casino,
that.
and that's why they didn't start.
Well, you know what? If that's the case, they need to do that every week because the way they played, the way they played last
Right.
week, I mean, they came in, both of them did numbers.
Yeah,
So if that's it, they need to be benched the first series every week.
every week and hit
And
those Las Vegas casinos if you can get
being
around to
live,
it. So,
flying back in the next morning. I mean,
yeah.
like something.
I think
But
that's the most ultimate disrespect of how bad the Raiders are when
yes,
professionals are like, I don't even got to be professional about this game. We're going to put
we
up
gonna go to
200
casino.
yards no matter what we do against them because
It was over by halftime.
it halftime. Are you crazy? It was
First quarter.
you give them far too much credit.
I'm just saying,
The only saving grace of that football game was I was able to watch the Manning brothers, and they had a pretty decent lineup of guests. If I had to watch the regular broadcast of that, I might have shot myself. It was so terrible. But I could watch the Manning brothers and not even pay attention to the right side of the screen and see that atrocity that they call the game. Terrible. Terrible team. I don't know why anyone's a fan of the Raiders at this point.
oh, you are.
But here I am, right?
Oh, moving on. We gonna talk about old man Rogers. Old man Rogers is
Okay.
hurt. Non-throwing hand. His wrist on his non-throwing hand is hurt, and he's trying to play through it.
Yeah, but he said this is more of a safety issue.
Yeah.
And what do you think he's? Well, one, do you think he plays, and do you think he should play?
I don't think he should play, but I think he will play because I think he pushes himself. Because they said something about they're gonna test it out between now and Friday. They're gonna test out the injury to see if he can play. I wouldn't play him just because of you got to think long term, at least for this year.
How about that? Long term for him?
No, for this year at least. Like
Gotcha.
if you're gonna make the playoffs, you're gonna need him. And I'm not saying Mason Rudolph is the best quarterback, but he probably can go out there and kind of help you win a game because they win basically on their defense and they win basically on their running game. That's how they win football. And then you sprinkle in a little bit of Aaron Rodgers doing a little something here because he don't throw a lot of passes.
Yeah.
I mean, keep it real.
He is not having an MVP type season. He's dinking and dunking. But just even though it's his non-throwing hand, I don't put him out there because if there's an injury, people are gonna hit that arm.
They are, but they're gonna key on it. But at the end of the day, like that's why I say you don't put him out there. You
got to protect him from himself.
You got to protect them and let him sit a week or two, maybe, and then let it heal, and then you put him back out there. Obviously, they gonna. One thing about Pittsburgh, they go to sleep winning 10 games, bro. I don't know how he do it, but somehow, some way, it's like he wins 10 games every year, no matter how good or bad the team is, and they make the playoffs.
Yeah,
every year. That's a mark of a great coach, though. I will say that because after years 17, 18, and you still can talk to your guys and get them up to go and win 10, 12 games a year, more power to you. Because he does it, man. And I can applaud that. But I would sit him for at least a week or two to let him heal up and then kind of bring him back. I wouldn't do it because you'll end up in a situation where it might get worse. You might actually break it this time instead of actually just hurting it. So, yeah, I would definitely sit him I would sit him for a week or two. So, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, we got Bernie Kosar as the last great quarterback for the Browns. It wasn't quite as bad as I see the mistake of 1908, then 1960. I remember him playing as a younger person. So it was more recent than that, but it's been a long, long time because I remember him playing in the 80s, 90s. I remember Bernie Kosar playing. But, yeah, it's
Bernie was the last one.
It's been bad since then. Again, they have 42 different quarterbacks. So, yeah, none of them could have been great, right?
I mean, they could have if you would have got the right coach.
Well, none of them could have been great in Cleveland.
Nah,
They could have been great. Here's the shining example of how bad Cleveland is. Uh, Belichick is considered one of the best NFL coaches ever. He had a losing record in Cleveland, and they dumped him.
mm-hmm.
Said he was no good, and obviously that wasn't true. So
I mean, but just think about all the people that have left there and went somewhere else. And
everyone's better when they leave.
that's the organization. That's the organization problem.
Some
That's
organizations, like the Raiders, are just bad, and it's not going to change until somebody comes in and cleans house. And I don't think that's happening in Cleveland, which is why I hope Shador can land somewhere else sooner rather than later. Because if he's going to spend his career in Cleveland, I don't see good things happening there. Because
well, I don't. If Kevin Stefanski's still there, I don't really think he
I don't
like
think
you
he's
said,
there long.
I don't think he's there long
Yeah.
either. But if he's there,
Yeah.
because if he's that bad of a coach, he should have been fired 2 games ago. So,
I thought you were going to say 2 seasons ago.
no, but I mean, he should have been. They won 2 games last year.
Yeah.
Like he's been there 6, 7 years now. Like at some point, that we still give him a chance kind of rubs off and it don't matter no more. But
Yeah.
you got to kind of at the end of the day just say, you know what, maybe we got to move on to something different. Now Shador might not be there next year because they may draft the quarterback.
Yeah.
And man, it couldn't be me because I would have walked in and said, "Look, bro, I got to go. I'm gonna need y'all to trade me, do something, get me up out of here, because that's what I would do. But I ain't Shador, so I ain't do. He ain't gonna do that. Shador gonna be respectful. I'm be like, yeah, I gotta go, man. Y'all killing me right here. Like y'all don't want to play me. Y'all don't want to teach me nothing. Y'all ain't trying to let me practice with nobody. I'm throwing to the equipment guy. Man, something wrong here, man. So no.
Yeah, I see comments that Cleveland is where players go to die, which is again why I don't see why Myles Garrett signed that contract, because you're gonna be a miserable person if you want to win being in Cleveland. And it's another comment on getting Hugh Jackson fired. But
that was whack, bro.
I would say one thing, that I did not like that.
That was whack.
That was bumping of heads, if you will. But I feel bad for anyone who has to coach in Cleveland. The long and short, he was eventually going to get fired anyway, because that's I don't know the number of coaches they've had, but it's not too different than their quarterbacks. It's a terrible organization, and has been for a long time. But there's another story. There's another NFL story from that same division. If you have Jamar Chase on your fantasy football team, you're not going to have him this week. He's suspended for a game for spitting on Jalen Ramsey. And the cost he's going to pay from that one suspension is $500,000. That's $500,000 for one game.
Okay,
that's crazy.
That's like $50 to him.
$500,000 ain't $50 to nobody.
He just signed a huge contract, right?
He got a huge contract, but $500,000, that's real.
But I'll say this: Jalen Ramsey egged him on, and that's why I do not like 100%. Jalen Ramsey, because he's quick to say somebody, and then for him to go to the media after that and say that, to me that's whack, because you started with him first, but they always catch the second person in the act. They never catch the first person. But for you to go to the media and actually do that, I think that's kind of corny, in my opinion. Because you should have left it out on the field. Now, you probably said something to him, and you probably, granted, let me tell you, spitting is not, nobody should spit on nobody. But the way, if you watch the play, he attacked him first. And you probably said something to him first. And that made Jamar Chase do what he did, which at the end of the day wasn't right. But you could have, why would you fight with a helmet on? I think that's so dumb when people do that. Yeah. When you trying to scrap somebody with a helmet on. Really?
Hey,
you're stupid.
Going back to hockey, they had the decency to at least drop the gloves, and
they'll take the helmets off, and then they'll beat the crap out of you.
And then you beat the crap out of the guy. Hey,
these guys don't take the helmet off. They fight with the helmets on. They stupid. All of them stupid. Yeah. But hockey is allowed.
They'll fight with helmets on, gloves on, helmets off, gloves off. They don't care. Yeah. The only thing they won't use is their sticks.
Yeah, because you gonna spend more than time in the penalty box for that. You gonna spend some time
in the
away from the
jail.
game when you bring the stick out as a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I draw the line at spitting on no matter what the guy was saying. Spitting,
Yeah, you
that's
got to draw a
definitely
line
where
on
you
that.
draw the line. I like Mike Tomlin talk about. Look, I don't have a message for him because if somebody spits on you, you got to do what comes naturally. And so, and that's why they wear the black Air Force Ones up in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin like,
But
look, hey, you spit on me. Hey, we got to throw this two piece.
you know what Mike Tomlin from? He from North.
Yes,
He
sir.
from here. Mike Tomlin, he get down there. Don't get it twisted now. He might be in Pittsburgh for most of his life. Mike Tomlin from here. He know
But
what
he
time it is.
still come from where he come from. He know what he
Oh
know.
yeah.
He do what he do. So yeah, but whew, I'm still at the $500,000. I like
I
can I
mean,
play the game in this place? You don't even gotta pay me
he,
the whole half a
he,
bill.
he'll get that back, man. I promise. You.
Oh no,
Let's
no.
talk about that.
He ain't gonna be hurting
Let's
for it
talk
in the
about
long run.
something, man, that hurt me. I had big plans for this guy, and
Okay.
I thought this guy was going to do good this year. But Michael Penix is out, torn
Yeah,
ACL.
that's another sad
Um,
news.
they said 9 months,
Yeah.
man. Whew.
I mean,
Now,
it's the same.
question for
It's,
you:
yeah.
Do you regret? Do you think? Atlanta, I feel like Atlanta did the right thing by keeping Kirk Cousins. Obviously,
Obviously, right now, right?
yes, that's probably the best move they could have did is keeping Kirk Cousins. Now, if Kirk Cousins goes out there and somehow they win games, make the playoffs, is that is frowned upon and look bad on Michael Penix going into next year? Because Michael Penix should be the starter next year. He didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he lost his job because of injury. But should he go in as a starter or Kirk Cousins? Should he be? Should Kirk Cousins be the starter going into next year? Because 9 months is still going to be, I think, a
Yeah.
timeline of where he's not going to be back. So you're
Right.
gonna have to play Kirk. But you know these ACLs nowadays, they coming back way early for some reason. I don't know what type of medicine they're using, but they coming back pretty quick
Hey,
from that stuff though.
modern medical science is improving
Yeah.
all the time, but he's not gonna be. I would be very surprised if he's ready to start
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning of the season. So I think Kirk Cousins, hey, he found there was a question of what was gonna happen with him in the future. I think that might have given him at least another year on the
Yeah.
squad. I don't expect him to play that well, honestly.
I don't either.
At least I have Kirk Cousins, and I have at the beginning of the season I was saying let's get Kirk Cousins traded so I can use him for fantasy purposes. So I can do that now, but I don't
Yeah.
expect big results from him. I was actually surprised when I looked at Michael Penix's numbers because just looking focused on who's doing well, I'm looking at Drake London and thinking, oh, Penix must be having a pretty good season. I was
Mm-mm.
like, okay, Drake London must have gotten literally every pass that Penix threw because
Yep.
Penix wasn't great and he wasn't lighting it up. But I think that team going to the NFL, forget fantasy for a second, I think that team is good enough that they can probably make a playoff push. Uh, Maybe fall a bit short, but if they get in, they can look all right. But I don't think it's going to be anything to the point of Penix needs to be worried. All he has to do is get healthy. He's the future of the team, and so I don't see a
Yeah.
issue there. Um, we'll see if Kirk Cousins can put in some work for fantasy purposes because I do have him on a team that needs to make a push, but it's probably too late for
Yeah,
me.
Kirk. I don't know because he's missing Drake London, and
Yeah, that's yeah.
it's gonna be a tough hill for for Kirk to really do anything. I don't know because Drake London might be out 2 weeks
Yeah.
maybe. I'm thinking
I don't
they're
think it's
saying 2 weeks. I
yeah.
don't
I
think
don't
it's
think it's
long.
long term. This time, and I guess we'll see who else can produce in the meantime. Do you like other than Cousins? Do you like someone else to take a big leap in that offense?
Um,
Mooney, I know was a big pickup. People were
I
picking up
picked up
this week.
Mooney.
You picked up Mooney
I
too. Okay.
picked up Mooney. I'm playing Mooney this week.
Do you think Kyle
I
Pitts becomes relevant at all?
no.
No.
Look, I'm one of the biggest Kyle Pitts fans that's out. I think he's too big, too talented not to be productive at all. And I
Mm,
don't know if it's the offense. I don't know if it's the coach. I don't know if he's trying hard enough. I don't know because at the end of the day, he's too good
Mm-hmm.
to not be putting up numbers like with the other tight ends because he's basically a big receiver.
Yeah.
And again, I always come to the conclusion that they're using him wrong in that offense
Mm-hmm.
because again, he's not a blocker.
Mm-hmm.
Naturally, he does not block well if you want to throw.
I mean,
If you
that's
telling
not
me put
yeah.
him on the line, that's not his thing.
Look,
Like
look.
he put him in the slot.
He's Travis Kelsey more than he's George Kittle. Blocking
Yes,
ain't well. He's not.
blocking is
He's
not
not good
his
enough to
thing.
be either guy. But if we're talking about a style of play, he's in
I
the
don't think he want to
complete.
block at all. Period.
No.
That's the thing.
Does
Like he
Does
doesn't
Kelsey
want to
really
block.
want to
Period.
block it all? He does
No,
poorly.
Kelsey's a big receiver
Yeah.
who may block at times when necessary, but
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey don't want to block. And Pitts don't want to block either. So make
Yeah.
Pitts a receiver, but maybe he need to go somewhere else to be successful in order for that to happen. I don't know if it's with them because at the end of the day, they don't give him opportunities because they're running the ball so much.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be a running team going forward because obviously you're going to want to
Yeah.
protect Kirk Cousins from himself. I mean, because the reason Kirk Cousins lost his job is because he
Well,
threw
he was
8
injured.
interceptions
Oh
in
yeah, he
like
did.
4 games.
Yeah.
So they benched him because of that. So I don't see nobody else. I hope Mooney step up just because I picked him up. I think they got to throw to somebody, obviously, but I don't know because obviously it's gonna be a running. They're gonna run the ball 30 times, 35 times to get through the game. So sprinkle in a little bit of passes here and there, and that's it.
Let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
Apparently the radio noise is that the Falcons are going to get another coach for Penix.
Wow.
Raheem Morris is a defensive guy, and so sometimes you will see the. In fact, that happened to Raheem Morris when he was with Tampa Bay. If I
Yep.
remember, they wanted to get rid of him for an offensive guy. So I mean, you got a star quarterback. But I'm like, you could get an offensive coordinator for that job.
I was about to
And then
say that. I
quarterback
mean, because
coach.
prime example,
Yeah.
I not RG3, but I want to put him in the same class as RG3, but in Washington,
Mm-hmm.
they have a defensive minded head coach, but they
Right.
have an offensive minded offensive coordinator
The one that was
who's
supposed
really
to be
good
the
at
head coach for the Raiders, but
yeah,
he left us at the altar.
yeah. I mean, he's seen brighter days. He was smart.
Hey, welcome, Carla. Good to have you joining us with
I'm saying, man,
this
like
week.
it's seen brighter days. You know that. Come on.
It ain't
Would you
looking
coach
bright.
the Raiders?
It ain't looking bright right now. I say that.
Would you
first.
coach the Raiders?
Yes, I like the paycheck.
I mean, obviously you want
Yeah.
the paycheck.
So
Whatever.
yes.
Okay.
But the Raiders are not a great job right now. But we need someone to come in and change that around. So we'll see what happens with all of those stories. Other than NFL news stories, did we leave anything out?
Possible. Now, and this is breaking. Well, I ain't gonna say breaking news, but if you have Joe Barrow,
Oh yeah,
Joe Barrow. Look, when I seen this earlier, boy, I smile from ear to ear, boy. You dig what? Because yeah, they say Joe Barrow was a full practice today.
Yeah.
And he's trying to actually play this week, which, hey, I'm here for it. Come on back, Joe. Bring it in, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And Carla, just so you know, you need to start T. Higgins this week.
Oh yeah, T. Higgins needs to be in every lineup with that
Every
Jamar
lineup.
Chase news.
Especially if Joe Barrow come back. Lord.
Forget Joe Barrow. It's Joe Flacco's team now.
Oh no, don't be mad, because I know what you looking like with no Joe Flacco. Woo!
Oh,
you are totally screwed, Lord.
I am dead in the water once Joe Barrow. Yeah. I mean, that team is probably dead anyway. But yeah,
you're definitely screwed. But you know, we ain't gonna talk about that. But I seen your lineup today, and I was like, man. I was like, what? I was like, yeah, he might not want Joe Barrow to be a practice boy because you have no quarterbacks, and it's bad.
If it were a horse, I would be taking that team behind the barn and using the shotgun. It's there is no hope of improvement for that squad. So that one is what it is. So
I mean that's all I got. But let's talk about something, right? Thanksgiving, all right. So,
Okay.
and we got some. Let's get the people. If y'all got questions in the audience, y'all want to ask anything, because we're not gonna be here. But if y'all want to ask us any questions going into this week and next week, you want to get them out now.
No.
Obviously, you can reach us. But from a live perspective, if you want to get it to us, that's fine. But my thing is, for the next 2 weeks, right? What two players are you playing, or do you think is going to give you? Because obviously, it's a playoff push that can change your playoff push. Give me two players, and
Are
not the obvious players either.
we talking about players that I need to be picking up on waivers, or you just saying
Yes.
two players that I think are going to be putting in some work the rest of the season that maybe have not
So
thus
give
far?
me give me give me one off waiver and give me one that's going to be doing work that can
Well,
carry you to a championship or get you close to a
okay.
playoff push
I
in
don't
the next.
know whether this first guy will get you a playoff push or get you to a champ. I'll probably say definitely no on the championship, but he could be
Hmm.
the piece to get you. Based off what we saw last week, we might
Okay.
see, and he's still available in a lot of leagues on waivers. But hopefully, if you were reading tea leaves, you already picked him up and he's stashed on your bench. Christian Watson, a guy we've talked about a few
Why?
times recently. Did you see the two
Why?
touchdowns that he got
But
last week?
it's so inconsistent though. Like
He's
it's nothing.
100% inconsistent. That's
Oh my
that's what we
gosh!
talked
Like
about with Christian Watson. He
oh my
look, he,
god!
he gave those two touchdowns last week off
He gonna have a good this week.
four receptions. He might have two receptions for 3 yards or three targets for zero receptions. You never know what you're gonna get for Christian Watson. But when it's good, it's really good, and when it's bad, it's really bad. I've been telling people Toyota Thon is coming. I was kind of disappointed. I did not see an
Oh god!
announcement from Toyota this past week. And what happens? Jordan Love gets injured. Not
But he came
Actually,
back.
yeah, he came back, but I
Came
was
back
just
in there.
saying, see Toyota. If this look, if Jordan Love goes down, Toyota, his blood is on your hands because all you had to do is mid-November and say Toyota Thon is here. It's Jordan Love season, and that would really help you with Christian Watson, and maybe Jaden Reed could say he's ready to come back. So that's one.
Okay.
Um, Let me see if I'm gonna take somebody off waivers. I'm trying to think. Do I want to go with a player like we talked about already? Like a I'm gonna count Christian Watson as my off waivers guy
Okay.
because he's not in a
I
lot of
didn't mean to
leagues.
put you on the spot, but
Because
I had.
yeah, no, you're good. Because I kind of want to use a player that might already be on your squad that maybe, unless you're in a two quarterback league, you haven't played a lot. And I might be wrong on this one,
Hmm.
but I kind of like what we're seeing as of late. And believe me, it's not a big track record. I'm making all these off of last week predictions.
Okay.
Is Bryce Young getting good? And can he can he give you a playoff push? I I
I
I
want to say, you know what? I want to say
I
yes so bad.
kind of like a little bit. They
Uh,
have some tough matchups coming up towards the end of the season, but some of them are division games where some of anything can happen. And I kind of he didn't he had his best game. Jalen Coker,
mhm.
Coker, a guy who I've talked about a lot. Not so
Yeah.
much. Look, not so much this year because he ain't been. He was hurt most of this season, and this
Okay.
past week he looked good. So if you got the rookie and Jalen Coker playing well at the end of the season, maybe there's a Bryce Young push coming.
I
Maybe.
like that.
I'm
I,
I'm
I, I
kind of
want to say I want to say yes because I have Bryce in Dynasty, and
yeah
Bryce gave you some really, really, really good numbers last week.
yeah. But he's given some clunkers and some stinkers this season as well.
But Bryce next. He played us this week, Monday night, which could possibly be a good game for Bryce because our defense is not
Yeah.
up to par. So
Yeah.
that could
Look,
get
if he could put us
Bryce
some Matthew Stafford numbers, then
could be. I feel like keep talking. I'm gonna pull up Bryce schedule because I got it.
he he's got some games that you know.
Who's his schedule?
While you pulling the schedule, I'm gonna say another guy that you've been waiting for to play. Uh, could would you put your guy Brock Purdy in
Don't do
that
it.
list?
Don't you? I was gonna say him.
Oh, you. Well, you shouldn't have been looking up Bryce Young's schedule. I wouldn't have had time to say what do you think about Brock Purdy.
You can get on my nerves, but that's all right. We can talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Come
Yeah,
on, let's
well,
talk about it.
go talk about it. I'll pull up the
No, we're
schedule.
gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it now. We're gonna
Okay.
talk about it. So I think that is a good one, honestly. And the reason I say that is because we have Carolina,
Yeah.
we have Tennessee, one more. So we have like a really bad schedule for was a good schedule
Well,
for
good,
us.
good. You got some bad teams.
We got some bad teams. I want to say
Now you got Carolina,
Arizona,
Cleveland,
Carolina, New Orleans, Cleveland.
yeah.
So we got
Tennessee.
four
Also,
teams.
y'all play.
Yeah, we played.
Look, the fear with Tennessee is they might pull Brock Purdy in the second quarter because they're up by 50 points already. But
that's the only issue that I probably would kind of be afraid of is if we're up by so much that it may come to that. But I think Brock is a perfect one, and I'm not the biggest Brock fan.
you are
But I
not.
think Brock is the biggest. I think probably out of everybody is probably the best play for the next 2 weeks, even for next 3 weeks, honestly, from a
Up
quarterback
until that
perspective.
bye week. Yeah.
Yeah, because he definitely got some great matchups. Now the problem is they may be over early because we may be up by so much.
Yeah.
That is all because he only threw for 200 yards last week
Yeah.
and 3 touchdowns. So that's your issue there. It could be to where it's over and they don't have to do much. Now, I say that's a good one. That's definitely a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Before you give the next one, just hit some of these comments. Talking about CJ Stroud, yes, he is out. Hey, maybe Davis Mills could be one of those players.
Davis Mills is having last 2 games been really good.
He's been all right. And I'm saying, maybe shut down for something. I'm not 100% sure. I think that's going back to the turkey and shutdown system days. I'm not sure. But I know I plan to eat so much turkey that I'm going to have to shut down my system through the weekend. I don't know if that's what we're talking about.
I'm gonna say George Pickens.
Okay. He ain't gonna look. He ain't playing the Raiders every week.
But. No. But I feel like George Pickens he's played really, 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 really good this year. And ain't even saying spots. I'm just saying in general, he's played good all year basically. To be on the other side, and again, most of that was when CD was out. But when CD, and I thought kind of a lot of that was going to change when CD got back. But no, they actually doing well together. So I would say CD is definitely. George Pickens is definitely one.
Yeah.
For the next, I would say 2-3 weeks because they played Philly, KC, and Detroit, and those are matchups where Dallas is going to have to be in the game because those are tough matchups. That's a hard schedule going forward. So definitely it's somebody. Then I'm gonna say Jameson Williamson is one. If you don't have him,
Williams is looking good as of late.
Yes, with the tight end being out he's on IR actually.
Sam
I
Laporta
know
is one of my biggest misses of this season, and it's not that he's been bad, but like I said, he's been on this injured thing, and he's on IR, so you're not gonna have him for several weeks. Jamison Williams is going to eat, I would
that
say.
is a big play. I mean, I had him already on a few teams, but I traded for him in another league
Mm,
uh, today. So I think getting him is definitely you gotta go in and get him because he gonna do work for you. He might can get you that because what you want to do now going forward because you got about 3 games,
3 weeks
right?
left.
You got 3 weeks to make a push on a playoff push, whether you 5-6 or 6-5 or 4-7. It really comes down to positioning points wise and all that stuff. But if you can get in there and actually win some games because you got to make that push, I think he's one that'll get you there
Okay.
because and I think since the coach took over play calling, you could see that he's really focused on getting him involved, which I think that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely play him. If you don't play nobody else, play Jameson Williams and definitely play George Pickens, even with a CD over there because defense is terrible in Dallas. They don't play no defense. They don't believe in it. They don't even know what it is.
I'm gonna give you a on the spot question because we have these 3 weeks left. Are there any big name guys that you are at this point giving up on for this season? Say drop them, pick up something on waiver wires that's gonna do you better if you're trying to make this playoff push at the end of
Mm,
the season, or just upset someone if you're not gonna make the playoffs.
dropping. Brian Brian Thomas Jr.
A lot of
is a
people have
play.
already started that process. Yeah.
It's a play I would drop.
Uh huh.
I was having this conversation earlier. I don't know if it's him, but I'm gonna say it's more 50-50
Okay.
because I think Lawrence has a big part in that because Lawrence somehow he
Veterans
don't know.
quarterback. Mm-hmm.
Um, but then he drops the ball a lot. So I think that 50% of it's on him because he does drop the ball a lot, and then the other percent is on Lawrence because he can't get it to him. And I
Do
don't
you
know if that's
do
a
you
coaching thing.
do you think that foot injury is bigger than it's been made out to be this season?
Could be. I think because anything with a foot injury, they tend to take longer to heal.
Yeah.
Um, that's like high ankle sprains, foot injuries, uh, toe injuries. Those things linger on throughout the year. So it's not like they just if you sit for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they back to normal. It don't work that way with those type of injuries. So that does play a part in it, but also in the beginning he wasn't playing well.
Yeah.
So to me, the injury aside, obviously that's something different. But for me, the first 4 games he wasn't playing like he was last year.
Yeah.
And what I did learn is he had all those yards and he was really successful with Mac Jones, not Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of a difference that makes for him playing with Trevor. And is that a mark on Trevor not being able to get him the ball?
I think it's a mark on Trevor Lawrence has definitely been a disappointing guy, like I said, but he also has head drops and is
Yes.
dealing with an injury. I don't think that there's been problems with that offense uh,
Okay.
all around, where you don't really have a lot of bright spots. We talked about Travis Hunter when he was up there. He never quite really got things going the way people thought he would. Until this year, Travis Etienne hasn't really been. He's had his better year, I would say, this year, but I think there's an overall problem on offense, and I don't know whether they are their players just not that good, or is it an coaching issue where they maybe need some more creativity? Uh, but like you said, Matt Jones made it look good for a B tier. So I don't
Well,
know. I don't know the balance between player responsibility and coaching for that squad, but they just are not very impressive. Even when they have good records, they don't really impress you anywhere
I
on
look at it
offense.
this way, right? This is the same coach that had Baker Mayfield last year,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. He was the office coordinator for Tampa Bay last year. So he had that same offense. So I don't. I'm all. I'm one of the guys that always say coaching, coaching, coaching. Coaching is the reason why these guys ain't playing well.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it, you can't always look at the coach in certain instances. Like if he's dropping the ball, that's on him.
That's him.
That's not a coaching problem. That's not a staff problem. That's him because he's not coaching. Now, if you're telling me injuries, if you like the 49ers have injuries,
Yeah.
soft tissue injuries, that is a problem from the training staff. That is a training staff. That's a coaching problem. That is a coach not keeping an eye on his training staff. Now, when you got players that don't catch the ball, that is him not catching the ball. That is him. Even when it comes down to Trevor Lawrence is not getting him the ball. I always feel like this: if you got a big time receiver,
Mm-hmm.
Kyler Murray made one. He said one of the stupidest comments you ever could make. It's not my job to get him the
Yeah.
football. That is your job to get him the football. You're the quarterback. He's the big time receiver. No matter how you look at it, you're not gonna push the ball his way.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna get him the ball. And for me, Trevor Lawrence doesn't attempt to get him the ball enough. Like if you watch these, like the Rams, if you watch the Rams, Puka, no matter who's on the other side of Puka, it can be Devontae Adams, it can be Cooper Cup, it don't matter. Puka
Mm-hmm.
is gonna get you 15 targets a
Yeah.
game, no matter what, because that's the coach say, look, that's our guy. He's the best receiver we got. Get him the ball no matter what. And the other receiver can't be mad because you got to understand that when he get in the game anyway, or when he comes to the team, this Puka team.
Uh,
You see what I'm saying? So I've seen Puka get 20 targets in one game. That's when you focus on that one guy. So I think Lawrence, because he want to spread the ball around so much,
but you gotta feed your
when
guy.
you got that big target, you got
Yeah.
to feed your guy though. I mean, you got to.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's not if you got a target and sometimes you got two targets, you got to feed both of them. I mean, we watch guys. I forgot the team, but both of them had over 100 receptions, and they both had 1,000 yards. We have teams that had 3,000 yard receivers
Tampa Bay
before.
has done it with the two and the good Mike Evans, Chris
Yeah, it's
Godwin
Chris.
years. The Bengals have done it with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
I don't know if they did it or not, but they were very close
all
with
I said
Puka
they did
and
it. They were close.
Cooper Cup in Puka's first year. I know that was borderline 1,000 each. If it didn't quite reach it, I can't remember specific, but it's
So,
possible with the
so
right
Brian.
quarterback.
So for me, Brian Thomas is
He's
he
droppable
could
at
be
this point.
he's droppable definitely. Now if you want to hold on to him as a dynasty league, yes, you
Oh
hold
yeah,
on to him in a dynasty league.
but for
But it's a
redraft, yeah, this
redraft.
was a redraft question, by the way. If
Yeah,
just to make that
if
clear,
it's a
yeah.
redraft league, you cut bait,
Let me
or either you stick him in a trade.
let me ask you about cutting bait on the player you talked about a little while ago, Sam Laporta, with him going on IR and there's 4 weeks left. If you're
Yeah,
trying to make that move, do you toss him and say it's just not going to work this year? I saw earlier someone said C.J. Stroud is probably and Joe Burrow I think was mentioned as a I would shut him down for the season. I know you're not going to say that for Joe Burrow because
no,
you,
I
you need
think
him, but
CJ Stroud is going to come back. You don't shut him down.
mm,
Even Joe Barrow, to a point, Joe Barrow was going to play because he want to play.
yeah,
I don't think nobody in that organization can tell Joe Barrow, We want you to sit down and not play. We watched this movie before. Joe Barrow came back from a broken wrist, a broken hand, I think, and he came back and played the last 3 games of the season, and they were out of contention.
Mhm.
So we know can't nobody tell Joe Barrow in that organization when you paying him 200 and something $1 million. Oh, we can't play this week. We just gonna sit you for the rest of the season. No, Joe Barrow gonna play regardless because he want to. Now CJ Stroud is gonna come back
Mhm.
because it's only. I mean, he should be back next week. He should be able to clear protocol next week, obviously.
Yeah.
But he's been down for this second week.
This the second week
So
out. Yeah.
yeah, but you don't shut him down though because it's still a lot of. There's a lot of like for Cincinnati. Yes, I would say shut Joe Barrow down, but Joe Barrow is gonna fight back no matter what. He's gonna play anyway, so you can forget it.
Shut him
Now
down.
CJ Stroud and them, they're in the playoff race.
Yeah.
In that, so they're trying to win the division and win the playoff or get in the playoffs. So their season's not over yet. So you don't really shut them down. So
Okay. Let me give you some quick names. We said Sella Porter. I think it said he was droppable, in your opinion. Uh,
mhm,
Brandon Ayuk. Do you think he's worth stashing? If you, I've dropped him, and
it's too late.
I think everything it's too late. I don't think it's gonna happen.
I mean, because think about it, he's coming back from ACL,
Yeah.
PCL, and meniscus. Just to get in football shape alone,
No, not
it's
enough
probably
time.
going to take a year for him to get back in a real football shape. Yeah, your Mac can say you're good, but your body's going to tell you, nope, not today. And he may come back and re-injure something small, but not nothing big. So I don't take a fly. It's other receivers out there that you can pick up that's going to give you better numbers. And I
Yeah.
love Brandon Ayuk, but that can give you better numbers right now at the moment
All right.
than over Brandon Ayuk.
These are gonna get harder. Bucky Irvin.
Oh no, you keep him. You out.
You think he's gonna eventually get back?
Now the only problem with that is though, because we've seen this movie before too.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody remember Rashad White was Bucky Irvin before Rashad White. So it's the same thing. Rashad White was the guy. Bucky Irvin was the backup. Now Bucky Irvin is the guy. Some dude named Sean Tucker is coming in now and is having this game.
So frustrating to me. Cause
Yes.
I'm like, Sean Tucker, I hate your guts. Right.
Now Sean Tucker's gonna come in and it's gonna be a timeshare
Yeah.
because you can't. And I was saying this earlier. Like you can't. You have to do something with one of them because there ain't no way you can keep Rashad White, Sean Tucker, and Bucky Irvin on the same team without getting rid of one of them because you got to.
All right. Two more of these. Tony
Mm-hmm.
Pollard. What's your fantasy football outlook on that one?
Uh, I would say it's a yes and no for me, only because running backs are so thin right now. Just in general, it's not a lot of top running backs out there.
Mm-hmm.
Either they share in the backfield, or they're not great. And I think he's a little bit of both right now. Tony
Mm-hmm.
Pollard's not a bad player; he's just playing bad. And I think a lot of it got to do with Tennessee as a whole team.
Bad.
Not
Yeah.
they're a bad team. Cam Ward doesn't look. I ain't gonna say he don't look the part, but Cam Ward is not playing great.
He has not played well. That's goes without saying.
Now I would hold on to him, but I would put him on the bench
All right.
because you ain't gonna find a starting or a halfway starting running back.
Halfway starting gets very accurate. Right.
Yeah, he's a halfway starter at this point.
Uh,
On the waiver wire, that's gonna get you at least 10 carries because that's all he's getting. He's getting about 10 to 12 carries a game, and whatever he can do with those 10 to 12 carries, because he's sharing the backfield with Tajay Spears, so they're both getting about 10 to 12 carries, maybe 15 to 15 a week, and they're probably getting you what 50 yards,
total.
60
Combined.
yards total, something like that. So
Right.
I will hold on to him as a
But
body that you need. So I say don't drop him. I say keep him, but put him on the bench.
I'm gonna give you the bench option for this one too. If you don't want to say drop, DJ Moore.
Ooh, you know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Uh DJ Moore's on the wrong team. He is. I mean, proof is in the pudding, right?
It ain't been working out well. I say that much.
Um, DJ Moore, I would say I've been dropped DJ Moore.
Oh, did you?
I
Okay.
picked him up. I drafted him
Uh
early, and I was like, man, that's when I made that whole in the church league. I made that whole switch rule, and I switched up all the players about like at week two.
oh, he was
He
one of the
was a
ones you
part of that.
dropped.
He
Okay.
was one of that cut list, so he was gone after that. I just think I don't know what it is how him and Caleb can't
Connect.
get on the same page for some reason. DJ Moore is a really good receiver. DJ Moore need to be a Buffalo.
Mm.
That's what he need to be. Um,
That would be nice. Of course, Josh Allen is showing he don't need receivers or running backs at this
he
point.
don't,
Right.
but I think he would be
But that
best
would
suited
that would that would that would be
in
beautiful.
Buffalo.
That would be some fantasy gold right there. I say that
I mean,
much.
because I'm telling you, the moment he steps in Buffalo, just hypothetically, right? Just say the all season they release him or they trade him and he go to Buffalo. The moment he steps in Buffalo, he's one. First of all, he's the number one receiver. That's one. Number two, it'll be like a Diggs situation where Diggs
Hmm.
was in Minnesota and Diggs was number two. But immediately when Diggs went to Buffalo, he became that number one receiver. 1,400
Yeah.
yards, 10 touchdowns. That's what you're getting from DJ Moore. I would say drop DJ Moore because you don't
Yeah.
know what you're getting from him week to week. Because he may give you a good game, and the next week he might give you zero, which has happened a few times this year.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't realize that you dropped him already. So yeah, I'm not mad at the prospect. If there was a big name droppable wide receiver, he'd probably be at the top of the list, if not number one.
I mean, you got to think about it, man. Like he, to me, Tony, like DJ Moore has so much talent, and I think it's being they're trying to turn him into a Debo in Chicago, and I think that's not how you use him.
Nah,
If you watch him,
he ain't that
and,
dude
and
like that.
he's not like Debo runs different routes, and he's not a route running guy. He's a physical type of guy that runs. Like if you give him the ball in space, he's good. Like that's what you do. Uh, but I got one for you.
Okay.
Mm. Scary Terry. Do you drop him now? Do you stash him? Do you put him on a bench?
I don't
Because
think
possibly
I don't think
JJ.
I don't think I have him in any redraft leagues. I do know I have
Okay.
him in a dynasty league, and he's been on the bench or injured reserve the whole season. If I
Okay.
had him in redraft, I might let him go if I can find something better on the wave. Yeah, I would not be afraid to drop him at this point of the season.
Okay. Um. Now the coach came on early and said they don't know Trayvon Henderson's role going into week 12 because of Ramondre Stevenson. Now, do you pick up Ramondre Stevenson hoping he gets the opportunity to be the number one guy? Or do you be like, nah, I don't know about that because
I
Trayvon Henderson is there now?
I am hoping that Vrabel was just talking some
He
coach
wasn't.
speak at the time because
He wasn't.
in my brain cells I can't comprehend how you say we're gonna go back to Ramondre Stevenson.
Easy. He coached.
Bad coach if you do that. And the Patriots have looked markedly improved, and he's probably going to be under consideration for Coach of the Year. But
Mm-hmm.
how do you see what this young guy can do and say, "Nah, we're good with it. we want to give back Mister Fumbles."
Well, you got to think he comes from the Bill Belichick tree, if you want to call it that. old school
Bill
type of
Belichick would
mentality.
bench you for fumbling the football, so I don't I don't
That's true.
understand. Yeah,
But Bill Belichick, like you know Bill Belichick. You remember the
it's
years
frustrating
when,
for running backs. I'd say that much.
yes, you remember those years
Yes.
when we used to, and this man, we telling our age, but this had to be like 10
I'm
years ago,
old.
maybe.
Look, this is telling my age right here. So
But you remember we used to argue, not argue, but we used to be like, yo, we don't trust no Patriots running back because every year, no matter what, it's always a different one. It's always gonna
yeah.
be a different running back because they don't know how to keep the same running back, or they don't want to keep the same running back because Bill Belichick always believed in that. So again, you got to think about it. He comes from the Bill Belichick tree. He was on the team. He was on that Bill Belichick team, and he's seeing how that worked for the team.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about it, why would you commit to one running back, even though Trayvon Henderson is better than him? He's shown that over the last 2 weeks. But why would you commit to one running back when you can run two or three of them? Because he named Trayvon Henderson, he named
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson, he named another running back I ain't never heard of. So I'm just saying he did, and I was like, wait a minute, Trayvon Henderson just had 3 excellent games, and then you just gonna throw him back to the Wolves and don't worry about him no more? All right then, makes sense to me.
I guess you don't find out, but as a person who has Travion Henderson, I'm just hoping that these words are just words.
I don't think
But
it's his
we'll,
words. I think
yeah,
he's really gonna be that way. Really. Uh, okay, with Tampa Bay's situation at wide receiver, obviously Abuka is Abuka. And then you got the other rookie. Are
Dez
you?
Johnson.
Yeah, Terrence
Yeah,
Johnson. Are you picking up Chris Godwin? And if he's healthy, are
yeah.
you getting him and playing him, or you're saying maybe we don't? I don't want to mess with that.
I don't particularly want to mess with that if I'm
Okay.
solid at wide receiver. If I'm trying to get, like you said, I'm on that border stash. I'm looking. I feel like I'm gonna be in the playoffs, and maybe I want that extra boost. I might
Okay.
pick up a Chris Godwin. At this point, I don't know what you're gonna really see from him this season, but he's worth a gamble stash pickup. But I wouldn't consider one. We have to see how healthy he really is,
Okay.
because he has obviously not been healthy enough to play pretty much the entire season. I don't mind stashing him if I'm a playoff team, but that's probably the
Okay.
only time I pick him up on a whim that maybe he gives me some big numbers unexpectedly in the playoffs. Yeah.
Are you stashed? Well, I'm gonna ask you. This is a 2 part question. Then I got to ask them. Um, Fantasy next year. What are you doing with?
Look,
Because obviously Mike Evans coming back next year. You know, Chris Godwin's gonna be back next year. Abuka. But what are you doing with that receiving core? Being that Abuka has made a name for himself as a real possible number 1 receiver.
yeah.
Are you moving on from Chris Godwin?
if I'm
Or,
the if I'm the Buccaneers, I'm moving on from Chris Godwin. I keep Mike Evans, first ballot Hall of Famer Mike Evans, just because he has earned that respect. But it's time
that's
for
true.
these young guys. So Chris Godwin, I feel I can let go. So for fantasy purposes, now Chris Godwin, unless he's on another team, I don't care because it's Mike Evans. If hopefully he's back and healthy, being his Mike Evans self. But
Okay.
it's a Buka's team as far as I'm concerned from the wide receiver spot. So it's those guys that Ted Johnson, like you said, has shown some talent that makes me think, hey, keep him as your 3. So I'm out on Chris Godwin for this team. Chris Godwin gets moved to say Tennessee in the off season.
Really?
I'm
Don't do that.
I'm
Don't put
back.
that man
I'm
on
back on
Tennessee.
the bandwagon because they need some sure enough help out
Don't put
there.
that man in Tennessee. Don't do it. Don't put that man in Tennessee. Don't you do that to that man career like that.
What about Cleveland? What about
No.
Cleveland? Oh,
No.
I'm thinking of teams that need some sure help at wide receiver.
I mean, it's any other team, but those two. I mean, gee, you
The
trying
Raiders.
to
Can I say something?
look? First of all, y'all gonna have a new quarterback next year. Well, y'all should, but we're gonna hold on to that thought. Gino should have been benched a long time ago, but Pete Carroll wants him
18
there.
mil, and all Pete Carroll has done is bring back this old Seattle days over there, and it's been a disaster.
I don't
There's
see
rumors he
what
could
team
be on the hot seat and out next year.
after 1 year.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's the Raiders.
Ain't y'all still paying other coaches though?
Does that seem to matter? How many coaches have we run through in the last few years?
Probably about 2 or 3.
I joke about Cleveland, but we went from Josh McDaniels to Antonio Pierce to Pete Carroll. Boom, boom, and boom. And
But Josh McDaniels was a fraud. That's one. Antonio Pierce, I would have kept as the coach. That would have been the coach. I don't know why they got rid of him.
I would at least given him another year with a good quarterback, not named Geno Smith, by the way. But
no, so is Geno bad or is Geno in a
bad?
Gee. But it's a Seattle. Hold on, wait. He was good in Seattle. So is he bad in the system, or is he bad like a bad quarterback? Because y'all don't have no talent on offense.
And that is a very fair statement. But you know which players are wearing the same colors that you are, right?
Yes.
So the interceptions, that's not the offensive system. That's not the other players. That's you not knowing how to look. And Gino definitely had some good years in Seattle, but he had DK and JSN and a young Tyler Lockett, not the old Tyler Lockett that he has right now with the Raiders. I give them a lot of credit for his resurgence. And hey, he duped the Raiders for like $18.5 million or something like that. So take your money and get on out of Vegas. Because
I would have stayed at Seattle because I think they offered him a contract in Seattle, and then he turned it down. He ended up going to the Raiders. Okay. Now, do you stash Jaden Daniels with the possibility of him returning after week 12 bye?
This is redraft question, obviously.
Yes.
If I'm them, I shut it down. But for fantasy purpose, I still stash him if I have enough room on the bench.
Well, I stashed him. No. I got him in a couple spots, but
it can't hurt at this point. I if I'm those Commanders, I don't play him anymore. But for fantasy purposes, I don't dump him yet.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Hey, well, let's do some game balls and get on out of here. Or anti-game balls if you're a hater like me.
You're such a hater. You gotta start with that stuff.
Who you got? Who deserves some credit and maybe some play this week coming up?
I'm gonna go. My first ones go to Jacoby Brissett. He was 47 of 57, 452, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and a losing cause. But is he going to start next year for them?
You better. You better.
Because Kyler Murray days are numbered, personally, I think.
He got enough money to play Call of Duty the rest of his life. They need him.
Call of Duty drop too. So
he's doing it right now as we speak. He's playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, man, we talking about coach talking about, hey, you look at that film.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all look at it, coach. Mm-hmm. It was a blank film. It was a blank film. Don't you worry about it.
Right.
Nah, Brissett had a good game. It's just
had a really good game.
From a fantasy standpoint, great. I don't know how many people played him, but if you did, you probably got to win. And keep playing him because they're going to be losing and he's going to continue to do the same thing. So definitely, he just ran into a better team, obviously. So,
I give a game ball, and it's an obvious one, but you know, I always say for these game balls, if you help me out, I'm gonna give you a shout out. Josh Allen, obviously the best player of the
Look,
week
man,
with
I don't
three.
want to talk about
Yeah,
that. I don't want
three.
to talk about
Did it hurt you?
that. Yes,
Yeah.
I was playing Josh Allen, and I was like, "Yo, I gotta win in the bag." And then he just ran for like 3 more touchdowns, and I was like, "Would
Yeah.
y'all stop this guy? Like, what are we doing here?"
A lot of times I don't like to do these obvious ones, but when you account for 6 touchdowns in one game, and he did help me win a game, so much love to Josh Allen for this week. So I'm not
Oh
gonna be
Lord,
all hater on that one. I'm
oh
gonna give some
Lord,
mad props.
why?
Hey, he helped me win. That's all that matters.
Whatever, it's cool.
And
It's
by the
all
way,
good.
getting the #1 spot in my division in the Comedy Club League. So thank you, Josh Allen.
Yeah, he lost me the game, so what? It's cool. Whatever. I'm gonna shout out Bryce Young. We talked about early.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Young had a monster game, and they actually are in playoff contention, which is even better. He had 440 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and
Mm-hmm.
he threw the ball 45 times with 31 completions. So, for we talked about Bryce Young, and could he does this? He's very inconsistent. Bryce Young, he's not consistent
Yeah,
enough in my book.
not even.
But does his play this year get him a new contract?
Is he going into his 5th year right now?
Well, they
This is his
didn't.
5th year option,
They
or
didn't pick it up all night.
I wouldn't. I would not pick it up. He is a
I'm not.
guy who
Don't
I'm.
quote me on that, but I don't think they
Yeah,
picked. I don't think they picked it up
I hope
because I
not.
think.
Because he is a guy. He is definitely a prove it guy for me. Before I give him a big contract,
But
I,
that's
I
this
don't think
year
this year.
of being, I guess, halfway consistent, and they have a winning record. So does
Halfway.
that? Well, so say they make the playoffs,
Uh,
and he continues to be not consistent, but he show up when he need to show up, type thing.
but no,
Do
he's
you
not. He's not ready for a big contract yet. This is his
third?
third
It's
year.
third,
Yeah. So yeah,
but the third year you can start
you
talking
can
about a
start
contract.
talking, but we ain't got nothing to talk about yet. So, like we can.
You just said it. We got nothing to talk about.
Like, yeah,
Got-
if your agent walks into my office after you've been
Wait a
benched
minute.
one
Wait.
year, got your job back, been mid, and this year been off and on, I'm like, okay, thank you for coming by. I note that you are wanting more money, and we'll see what happens next year. It's been great talking to you.
I mean, they do have this year. Well,
No, we're
this
done
year's over,
talking.
but they got next year and the year after that because they do
Yeah,
have the 5th year option.
yeah.
So I would pick up the 5th year option. I would pick up the 5th year option because I don't want to pay him right now.
Okay,
Just
so
to kind of
you're
give
trying
him
to
that.
you're trying to do that to get them while he's bad, get him a low. Okay, I see
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
strategy. You're playing chess. I'm playing checkers.
yeah.
So
So I would pick it up personally
okay,
just because of that, because you have 2 extra years to see what you can get out of him from the quarterback position, and then you can make that move because obviously they're not going to be in the running for a quarterback this year because they are in playoff contention, and
mm.
then
So you buy low and maybe sell high, and then you say goodbye. So we have to see what happened to Mr. Riddick. Um, while we see what happened to him, let me go to the hate portion of my game balls, and I'm going to give this award to Ashton Genty. As a Raiders fan, I knew they were not going to beat the Cowboys. I had very low expectations for the team, but considering the Cowboys have easily one of the worst defenses, if not the worst defense in the NFL, I expected to see Geno Smith and Ashton Genty have pretty good game. In fact, we mentioned last week that you might want to put Geno Smith in your lineup. Overall, like Roddy said, his numbers weren't terrible, weren't great, but Ashton Genty's numbers were straight in the toilet. And this is the part where I said earlier, I completely blame Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator, for the fact that Ashton Jeanty had count them, 6 carries in the entire game against, like I said, one of the worst defenses in the league. How did you get your star rookie running back 6 carries over the entirety of the game? Is completely unexcusable from a coaching standpoint. And Ashton Jeanty
Come on,
Jeanty single-handedly lost me a game in fantasy football. I was at first projected to lose, but somehow my players put in some work. Let me tell you what I needed. I needed 1 touchdown and like maybe 50 yards from Ashton Jeanty to win the game against the worst defense in the NFL. He gave me nothing. 6 carries. 6 carries.
I got a question. I got a question. Over here.
Yeah, go ahead.
What happened to the whole Mr. No, I kind of caught what you were saying.
You disappeared for a bit, so you missed me. He was supposed to be an easy rookie of the year because he had no one to compete with in his backfield. He was supposed to just be the star of a terrible offense, and they barely used him in the offense this past week against the worst defense in all of football. So my game ball hate goes to Ashton Jeanty, and not just because of him. It's more so the ball goes to Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll because I don't know what kind of preparation they did.
What happened to the stand, though? I kind of question what happened to him the whole... in the backfield when he stood up.
The stance didn't work.
He was supposed to be good again. What happened to that?
It was good. It was good for Halloween. It was terrible for Thanksgiving. I don't know what happened, but 6 carries against the Cowboys.
Well, look. Let me ask you this: who is going to win Rookie of the Year? Because nobody really deserves it.
Ibuka is the only guy in my mind that deserves Rookie of the Year. There's no one else, I believe, that comes close to what he did. You can give Jackson Dart half credit, but because quarterbacks are the jewel of the NFL. He's the only quarterback that I think gets a mention, but I don't think he's done anything worthy of Rookie of the Year.
I mean, that's kind of tough because I don't think none of them deserve it. Nobody has put together
in the way that other rookies have shined. Nobody's having a Brock Bowers type season from last year.
Yeah,
for instance,
nobody's like a clear cut like front runner in my opinion because they didn't put themselves in that position. Now you had a couple of weeks where Jackson Dart looked good, and Scatterable looked good, and Jeanty looked good. Nobody kind of stood out the most to say, give it to me, I deserve it. That's the issue I have with it because at the end of the day, you're really not seeing who is better at what. Cam Ward has been bad all year.
Yeah, it's been a long season.
All year. So I don't know who you give it to unless you give it to. Can't even get it pushed on Jenkins because he hasn't been good. What about McMullen?
Oh yeah, that's another strong candidate. Him and Ibuka. Give it to a wide receiver. Let's hit this chat for a sec. Sorry for having y'all wait for a bit, but yeah, Carlos said she also expected more from Geno Smith, who didn't. I don't know what that performance was. Ben H909, welcome.
Welcome.
He's a heavy contender. Who do you like in this? Burrow plus Jeanty, who I've just been bad-mouthing for the past 10 minutes. In the 2026 second round and third. Or Allen, I'm assuming this is Josh Allen, Javonte. Javonte has really impressed me this year.
I'm assuming it's dynasty.
Yeah, since we're talking draft picks.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out who is he getting? Joe Burrow, Jeanty, 226.
Yeah, I don't know what side Ben is on
Yeah, I'm trying to see what side he's on. But you said hypothetically he's on the Burrow
side. But what side do you think is the stronger of the two sides?
I'm doing the barrel.
Yeah, I like the barrel side myself.
Yeah,
I get
I'm doing the barrel.
it's many bad things that I just said about Genty. He is talented, and in a offense where he doesn't get limited to 6 carries, I think his career is going to be really good. So if I get Barrow and Genty plus those draft picks, I
Yeah,
like that
I'm doing
side.
that. I
As
just
much as I
think
love Josh Allen, I talked a lot of good things about Josh Allen, and he is awesome. But when he's healthy, Joe Barrow can be just as good for your fantasy purposes. So I think those is sort. I give an edge to Josh Allen, but not a huge edge on that. Uh,
standpoint, I don't know if that's a good trade in general.
I don't know long term. Javante, he's had a great year. For you for dynasty purpose. I don't know about going forward what that will look like.
Yeah, I just don't. I think because he would have to be a long term commitment to Dallas
Yeah,
for him to be successful in a sense like that. So I don't know if it's going to be a long term commitment. So I don't know if I would invest in him in a dynasty standpoint because of that. Because obviously Devontae's looking good this year, but
right.
you don't know what he's going to
We
do next
look.
year because he's on a 1 year deal.
We've seen a rotating door of running backs in Dallas lately. Do they settle and
Yeah,
say, "Hey, Javante's been good. We should reward him beyond this 1 year"? Maybe. If I knew that today, that might lead me more
today, then
to
yes.
the Josh Allen, Javante side. But for now, with what I know, I prefer the other side of the table. I'm with you. I'm on the Barrel
I mean,
Genty.
and the only it's like a risk. It's like a risk reward type thing with Joe Burrow. Obviously, the injury history comes with Joe Burrow in that sense, but just the Genty, the
Yeah,
2026 second and third round
yeah,
alone is probably that's better in my opinion than any of that. Obviously, the players are good, but you're getting those
yeah.
picks and you're able to kind of do something with those picks.
And as much
So,
as I talk about Joe Barrow being injury prone, if I'm in it for dynasty long term, I think I'm gonna have more good healthy years from Joe Barrow than I
and
have
back it.
injured years. So I kind of cancel out the injury since I'm looking long term. Uh, yeah. So thanks for the
Yeah.
question, much appreciated.
Like,
Um,
subscribe,
hit
please.
subscribe for us, and let us know what side you were on and whether that trade works out for you. Much appreciated. Back to game balls or my version of hate on a player.
Nah, you gotta stop hating.
I'm a hater for
You
life.
gotta stop hating. We know, but you gotta stop hating.
Yeah. By the
Speaking
way,
of game balls,
before I turn the floor over to you, the biggest Ashton Genty hate is Dylan Lave was close, was like neck and neck, fantasy wise to Ashton Genty, which is a sign of how terrible that game was. I'm sorry, I just hate the Raiders so much. Go.
I don't know why you get so bent out of shape about your Raiders, man. You just
I should
got,
know they're
you know what?
bad.
You should be like me,
Like
okay?
I don't
You
even
should
care
be
no
like
more.
me when
Should
I
be
was,
my attitude, right?
yeah, you should be like me when I didn't care about my Niners at one point. I mean, I loved them obviously, but when I didn't care and I was like, man, they suck and they just gonna
I
lose,
don't even know if I
and
love
this
them
player's
anymore.
back. Well, I don't know what to tell you. You know,
Yeah.
you got to worry that out on your own. You know, therapy sessions open from 8 to 12.
Yeah,
We can
yeah,
make that
yeah.
work. You know,
Maybe I get some therapy on that
uh,
week off.
yeah, exactly. Because I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, it's a lot of hate over here towards the Raiders. You know, I've been in there. I've been where you at. I've been where you was at before. Obviously, with my Niners, and I love hate with them. You know, sometimes, but I'm back in the love space. You did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You should be there.
They giving you a
I
reason to
mean, y'all
love.
got to win some.
Hey, they're
Do
winning.
they?
I don't think they win that
I
division
mean,
anymore, but they're winning at least.
I
I
mean,
take that.
my standards are a little bit high,
I mean,
So you
considering
know,
you've been to the Super Bowl
consider we.
multiple times,
Yeah, I'm
usually
trying to win the Super
in the
Bowl,
last
so
20 years. Go
my
ahead,
standards of
give
winning.
give out another
I'm just
game ball.
saying,
No
you're
one
like,
cares about the
please,
49ers.
I'm just saying, you got to stop it. I want to give a shout out to Sean Tucker. Sean Tucker, who look, man, I had I am so mad at myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sean Tucker was sitting there, and Rashad White was sitting there. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go get Rashad White because I think Rashad White gonna have a good
Yeah,
game
that
this
too.
week. Dang it. Sean Tucker went out and did work. 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards. And I'm thinking to myself, he was sitting literally,
Right
both of
there.
them was sitting right beside each other on the waiver wire. And I was like, I'm gonna go Rashad White because I just think he gonna do better. And that thing is, I read earlier Sean Tucker gonna be more involved, but you know they be lying about that
Yeah, I
stuff
saw that
sometimes.
too, and I was
So I
like,
was like,
nah, I got Rashad White. I'm good because I actually thought about picking him up in a couple of leagues, but I was like, Psh, I don't need Sean Tucker.
and
He
watch
ain't
I
gonna
pick up Sean Tucker this week, right?
do
I got
nothing.
him this week in one league, and he's gonna do nothing. It's gonna be a Rashad White week, and then I'm gonna be really upset then
The
because
the the,
that's
the,
the way it always works sometimes.
the evil of fantasy football is whatever decision you decide, it's always gonna be wrong.
This
Because
is very true.
yeah, like hey, if I say I'm gonna pick this guy up, he's gonna do work. He's definitely not gonna do work. If I'm gonna bench a guy because he hasn't given me work, he's going to go off in ways you've never seen happen. Because the fantasy gods are evil. That's why I play fantasy hockey over that way. Yeah, move my head there. Hockey.
Whatever. That's all I got. I ain't got no more.
Uh,
What you got?
that should be enough. I kind of want to do
That's it.
one more hateration, but you told me to stop being a hater. Um, but I'm gonna hate
I
on.
mean, no. If you're hating on your team,
Uh,
you gotta stop that. It's okay.
no,
Look, I
I
don't
was
like
gonna
having
hate on a
players on my team.
completely
Go
different
ahead.
team. I was gonna hate on the Dolphins
Well, go
for a
ahead.
second,
Hey, look.
and I just
Go
want to
ahead. You do your thing.
I just
They
want to
play
say
like crap. They did.
a quick I hate you to Jalen Waddle, who also is responsible for bad fantasy turnout. I don't know what happened.
That's on.
Uh, huh?
That's on tour.
That's on Tua.
That's on tour.
So Tua
Yeah,
gets
that's
the
on tour.
majority of my hate. I don't. Me and
I
Jalen
mean, give
Waddle
it
have
to him.
been rolling the last few weeks, and this week
And Tour came in and messed it up.
it was terrible.
I get it.
So
Okay.
he gets the abbreviated hate, so we can wrap up
Okay.
for now. But we, as a reminder, want to let you know that next week, because it's Thanksgiving and we want Rodney to stay in his happy home, will not be live on Wednesday night. So the next time we'll be back with you is in the first week, the first Wednesday in December. So please join us then. And until then, hit us up if you have any questions or fantasy lineup things. We'll try to respond to you, even if we can't do it on the show live. And good luck to you guys for these next couple of weeks.
Yeah. And look, if we don't respond, we might have some turkey in our hand or some stuff,
look,
or some mac and
look.
cheese.
If
Who
you
knows?
if you got fantasy questions, don't do them Thursday night because I would be in a turkey coma. Uh, Holler at me on Friday.
No, just
I might be back.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Thursday before he eat, you probably can get a question in or two, maybe. But I'm pretty sure he can be tasting cookies and all
Yeah,
this
I'm
other
gonna.
stuff.
I,
Yeah.
I still got my Thanksgiving cookie on the snack on as soon as we hit the show off. You got to.
Nah.
So these cookies are for me. Do you have a Thanksgiving dish you're looking most forward to for next Thursday?
Oh yeah. My grandma, obviously my wife's food, but my grandmother makes
Right.
me sweet potato pies every year.
Look,
So
you
and
got me
I'll
at
share.
grandma. Once you said grandma, I'm like, sign me up.
She called me yesterday. She called me yesterday or no Monday, and she was like, "How many you want?" I said,
What?
What? Yeah, she was like, "How many you want?" I was like,
Oh
"Give me
no.
about four, about four." Because we had company, and they'd be like, "Yo, where the pies at, right?" And I'm like, "Don't even think about it.
Ooh,
Don't,
that's
don't."
that's a dangerous question coming from grandma. How many pies I want?
Hey, look, because I know they come two. They come. It's a 2 pack. They come in twos. She was like, "How many you need?" I was like, "About four, yeah." Because I know somebody already want one. if you don't get your hands off the pack. Like I stashed my two in the back. You know, I'll give me some vanilla ice cream and I'm good. And I probably gain another 5-10 pounds. But I don't
Happily.
care at this point. Yes. At this point, I don't even care.
Thanksgiving calories don't even count.
So no. That yeah, I'm waiting on that definitely because those I'm talking after I eat, I'm going probably 4 slices in. Easy. And that's in probably like a 20-minute span. I'm going to two at a time. Because it's that crazy.
Yeah.
So, because Joy come over here and be like, right over the pad, don't you, Joy? You better
get away.
Hey, back up.
Get your own pie.
Yeah, back up there.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
But I will say this before we get off. I'm 3-0 in one of my in my basketball league.
I was about to say the NBA. All right, that's. I know you lost. You lost Wemby for a couple of weeks. It sounds like.
I lost Wemby.
Yeah,
I lost Wemby, but it's cool though. That's the one. I'm like 1-2 over there, but in another one that I found
helping no way.
No, but yeah, it's cool though. But it's I've been in my mind racking. Do I really want to start a league? But it is too much work. Way too much.
It's a lot of work.
It's too much work. Yeah, it's a lot of work. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna stick with fantasy football and call it a day. You know, that's it. It's too much work. Too much switching out. It's too long. Too many weeks. It's like 40 weeks, bro. It's way too long. It's very long. It's stupid. So yeah.
All right.
But y'all have a blessed
Thanksgiving. Have a blessed Thanksgiving. And I will continue. I see this one comment. I will continue to hate on Dallas, especially since they beat the Raiders. And now people think they might make the playoffs. But you know, I save that. Look, I save that hateration until after they play Philadelphia. You get back at me. We'll see. But
hey, look, you deserve it sometimes. It's okay.
All right, y'all.
Well, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man.
Peace out.